Overnight, 2 ballistic missiles were fired at a U.S. warship. Now, this happened in the Gulf of Aden and appears to be the latest in what has been numerous attacks by Iran-backed Houthi rebels out of Yemen against U.S. and coalition forces since the Hamas terror attack on October 7th. This latest incident all started with a distress call from a commercial cargo ship in the region. CNN's Katie Bo-Lillis has this reporting for us. What more are you learning about this, Katie Bo?
Kate, let's walk through the sequence of events here. On Sunday, a commercial tanker containing phosphoric acid with some apparent links to an Israeli-owned company sent out this distress call saying that it was under attack while it was operating in the Gulf of Aden. The USS Mason, a guided missile destroyer belonging to the United States, which also operates in the Gulf of Aden and off of the coast of Somalia as part of a counter-piracy task force, responded to that distress call. When they arrived at the commercial ship, they found 5 armed hijackers on board the ship. Those hijackers jumped off of the commercial vessel into a small boat of their own, sped away. The United States missile destroyer gave chase and was ultimately able to obtain the surrender of those hijackers. Now, the United States has not publicly identified who these 5 armed hijackers were, but what we do know is that in the hours after this episode, 2 ballistic missiles were fired from Houthi-controlled territory in Yemen in the general direction of the Mason. Now, those missiles landed harmlessly in the Gulf of Aden, about 10 nautical miles away from the ship, so no U.S. injuries, no U.S. casualties. But for American officials, this is sort of yet another concerning signal that Houthi militants in Yemen may seek to escalate the conflict currently going on in Gaza in between Israel and Hamas.
Absolutely. Katie Bo, great reporting. Thank you, as always. John?
All right, with us now, retired Army Major General James Spider Marks, CNN military analyst and head of geopolitical strategy at Academy Securities. And Spider, let's just take a look at what just happened in the Gulf of Aden with this, this freight ship there, an attempted hijacking. The U.S. jumps in to help, and then missiles fired from the Houthis in Yemen. Is this a sideshow, Spider, or is this the type of thing we could see more in the coming days?
I think we're going to see more of this, John. Clearly, it's like the gloves are off because of the outrage, the international global outrage when they look at what's taking place in Gaza, irrespective of what the IDF is trying to achieve with Hamas. This has now become a discussion about the brutal handling of the greater Palestinian issue. So Iran has gone back to its proxies, the Houthis being one of those, and saying, fair game, do what you need to do. You've got our support. You certainly have our backing. Iran does not pull the trigger, does not authorize each one of these engagements. But certainly the boundaries between what's appropriate and what's not appropriate in their perspective is wide open now, and that's what you're seeing.
I want every American earning minimum wage to go and do this. This is my early Christmas gift to you.
Shalom. Call Halayim La, Yahweh, by Hashem, Yahweh Shai, by Hashem Rakakwadash. Double honors to the elder apostles, the elders of Great Millstone as GMS. Peace and bless to the Akim and a few Akwath across the 4 winds. It's your brother Batamaya from Great Millstone, Houston, coming to you with a quick hit. Now, I saw that, and immediately I thought about World War III. Hey, it's going to be a lot of thermonuclear missiles shot off. Right now, you have just the ballistic missiles, just the I call them the entry level, the entry level tools. But soon it's going to be thermonuclear missiles. And most of those missiles are going to reach where? The virgin daughter of Babylon, which is, Babylon the Great, which is America. But I just want to bring out a few precepts, and, Lord willing, this is edifying, it's straight to the point. Matthew chapter 24, verse 6, and ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars, see that ye be not troubled. So when you hear about World War III, we're not troubled. We get more excited because we know once World War III is here, once it arrives, what's going to follow is Yahweh Shah is going to come back. In the midst of that, they're going to push the micro-charagma. So prophecies are going to continue to pop off. They're going to pop like popcorn, as brother's been saying. So we get excited. We're rejoicing because we know that our salvation draweth nigh. For all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet. So the end isn't yet until Yahweh Shah comes and saves, you know, you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, and those that look like the other heathen nations that go back to being Israelites. That's when the end is going to be. As a matter of fact, let me get this precept. One of my favorites, actually. I like ending the videos off with this one, but 2nd Esdras chapter 6 verse 9. For Esau, the self-proclaimed white man, is the end of the world, and Jacob, you know, we usually say Jake, which is short for Jacob. You know, his name was changed to Israel. You Israelites, you Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans, is the beginning of it that followeth. Once we follow, it's not going to be any more other rulerships from these heathen nations, especially Esau, Edom, because after 1,000 years, they're not going to come back into rulership. Matter of fact, they're going to be all gathered together for a bonfire. That's what they like to do anyway. You know, like at Texas A&M, they have like bonfires and things like that. Cool. That's in the spirit. And that just shows you that the Most High, Yahweh, whom the world ignorantly called God, his name means he is, he exists, he do be. And you have his only begotten son, Yahweh Shai, which he is salvation. He's our redeemer. When he comes, you know, he's going to gather the Esau, Edom, and then they're going to have a major bonfire. That's what they like to have. So, hey, the Lord is funny. He's going to reciprocate, you know, give you over to your own lust, as the scriptures say. Revelation chapter 11, verse 14. The second woe is past, and behold, the third woe cometh quickly. When you go into woe, it's death, destruction, mourning, and sorrow. And that's what happens with war. So it says the second woe is past. That's World War II. You know, World War I, World War II. And now we're finna be in the climax, or the climax of World War III. That's what we're waiting on. We're waiting on World War III to pop off. So we know, hey, we're getting closer and closer. You know, we start seeing martial law and all these other prophecies come to pass. We know that our salvation draweth nigh. But it's getting close to, you know, these nations rising up against nations, as read in Matthew 24 and 6. I mean, it's 7, Salakia. For nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom, and there should be famines. There's going to be a famine of the word, and it's going to be a famine of food. And the pestilences, they're already pushing, I call it the C24. It's going to be another, you know, respiratory type, you know, plague that's going to come up upon the world. And earthquakes in diverse places. There's plenty of earthquakes. If you follow the earthquake tracker, it's earthquakes every day. But it's starting to be more earthquakes in diverse places. Like here in Texas, you know, there was an earthquake, you know, we didn't feel here in Houston, but saw it on the news. It was near San Antonio, which is like 3 hours away from Houston. All these are the beginning of sorrows. So once those birth pains, you know, start to come, which is going to be Jacob's trouble mainly, hey, in that time of calamity, we're going to know that our salvation is near. I keep, you know, saying that, but hey, we're so excited that, you know, we want to be saved. We want to get out of hell. We don't want to be here any longer than what we've already been here. And then Joel 3 and 10, this is the last precept I had. Beat your plowshares into swords and your pruning hooks into spears. Let the weak say, I am strong. So I know when I was younger, you know, coming up, I never would have heard about any nation shooting off, you know, ballistic missiles towards any ballistic missiles being shot off towards America, you know, or any of our, I don't want to say our, but any of the American troops. It just goes to show you that these weaker nations are standing their ground. They're not investing in farming tools. They're investing more in nuclear missiles. You know, hey, they getting you got so-called leaders in Israel talking about Ezekiel 38. You know, it's not going into Russia and etc. Hey, where are these weaker nations getting their confidence from? Ultimately, it's coming from Yahweh Bashem, Yahweh Shai, but guess who? You know, they're going through Russia. Russia also Edomites too. So like in Matthew 24 and 7, you know, nation against nation, kingdom against kingdom. Russia is a kingdom. And America is a kingdom. You know, that's two different nations. Hey, once they start bumping heads and China gets involved and you have Iran, hey, that's when, you know, things are going to get, you know, very interesting, shall I say. But we know how it's going to play out from what we read in the scriptures, but we don't know exactly how it's going to play out or when it's going to play out. So, you know, we're just going to continue to watch and look for these prophecies to continue to pop off. You know, if any little thing to keep our faith boosted, you know, Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai is giving us, you know, like these little skirmishes and things like that. And then the last precept, Joel 3:11, assemble yourselves and come, all ye heathen. They're going to gather in the valley of Jehoshaphat, which is Yahweh Shaphat. You read Joel 3:2, which is Yahweh's judgment, you know, his place of judgment, which is going to be where? The so-called Middle East, which is really West Asia. You know, young Elder Malcolm goes into that a lot, you know, that it's not the Middle East, you know, it's actually West Asia, which he's very accurate on that. And he also shows you that on maps. He has a map specifically for Asia. And gather yourselves together round about thither, cause thy mighty ones to come down, O Lord, Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai. So Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai is gonna, as we say in Houston, gonna come down. If you understand the lingo, hey, Yahweh Shai is gonna come down with those heavenly angels. You know, they're gonna pull up in style, because you know how we do it, and we're gonna pull up on you. You know, Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai is a man of war, so when he pulls up, he's gonna pull up in style. You know, my favorite is, you know, reading about how Yahweh Shai is gonna stand on top of the fathership when he arrives, so everybody can see him, and that's when he's gonna get glorified. You know, his name and the names of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai is gonna reign forever. But we can't wait, you know, for the Lord Yahweh to send Yahweh Shai and the mighty angels to save us. But Lord willing, this was edifying and straight to the point. Call Halayim La, Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rakakwadash. Double honors to the elder apostles, the elders of Great Millstone. Shalom to the hopeful elect.